Okay guys, this is a little bit on how to use InDesign. As you can see, I've pulled up the Senior Pages template. I'm going to show you just a little bit about how to use the tools and stuff. So the first thing is you're going to have to be really careful about which selection tool that you use. As you can see, there's a white one and there's a black one here, and the selection tool that you're going to want to use the most is the black one right here at the top. The reason for that is if I click on a picture here and I want to move it or something, using the black one will allow me to do that, but using the white one will select inside of the photo, which actually it won't move the frame and the entire photo, it'll just move whatever's inside of that frame. So it can be handy to know how to use both, but most of the time you'll probably just want to use that regular selection tool. So let me undo that here. Okay, the other thing is that when you first open up InDesign, sometimes not all the tools are showing, and that's because maybe you're set on like an essentials mode, or just the tools are hidden somehow. So you want to go up to the top here and put it on just the either advanced mode or printing and proofing mode. You'll see your tools will kind of appear. I like to have it on the advanced mode there. Okay, so the next thing you're going to want to know is how to place a photo. You've already got a template set up, but you're going to want to know how to place a photo inside of that template. So I'm going to delete this photo and I'm going to show you how to place something. So I left the frame, which you can't really see probably. There's a little black frame that it goes inside of, and I'm going to delete that too and make a frame so you can see how to do that. Just get a rectangle and draw your frame. If you're using a template, you'll already have the frame. So with this one, I just drew a rectangle, and right now you can see it's, if you look at the top, it's filled with white. So I don't want it to be filled with anything, so I'm going to click on None. And I want it to have a stroke around it that's a little black frame. So I'm going to do a black stroke. And you can change the size of the stroke here. And then I'm going to do File, Place, just like we do in Photoshop. And I'm going to go to my desktop and find a picture to put on here. Let's do this one. So because I already had that selected, it put it right inside of the box for me. Now I'm going to click inside of the circle there so I have the picture selected. And then if you look up on your top bar here, there should be a couple of options for like fill frame proportionally or fit content proportionally, and you click on those until it does what you want it to do. So fill frame proportionally is what you're going to want to do with these. So I think it's the first option there. Yeah, and that will work for whatever section that you're working on in the yearbook. If you're putting the class pages in or the grade photos in, you just place it, and sometimes it'll be way too big for the box, and then click that little button there and it'll snap right to the size of the box. Okay, that's that. One thing to note when you're placing images is once you've placed an image, you can't move it on your hard drive, or the link will be broken and InDesign will not be able to find the original photo when you go to export it. So just keep that in mind, that you're going to want to store your photos in a folder on your desktop or wherever you put them on your hard drive, and keep them there until you're completely done with the file. So basically don't move it until the end of the year, because otherwise the links will all get broken and you'll have to go fix them and either you'll have to go through and relink them. So I'll show you how to do that in a different tutorial, just in case that happens, because it happens sometimes. You accidentally delete a photo on your hard drive, not realizing that it'll be deleted out of your InDesign file. So let's see. The other thing about placing photos is, just like in Photoshop, you need to be really careful not to warp anything by just stretching it like that. So make sure that right now you can see I have the inside of the photo, like the actual image itself selected, not the frame. I want the whole thing selected. So I'm going to use my black tool. I'm going to click away from it for a second and then click back on it. And see how you can see the blue frame around it? That means I have everything selected. So if you wanted to resize this photo here, you would hold Shift and Command, go to the corner, and you should see that little arrow guy here. Not the rotate one like this, but that one. Hold Shift and Command or Shift and Control if you're a PC, and then drag out, and keep holding those while you drag. The other thing you're going to want to know is how to find the rest of the pages, because if you're using an InDesign document, sometimes you're going to have 100 pages in there, 10 pages, depends on how many you're working on for that section of the book. But so the way to find that is you'll see this little thing over here called Pages. Click on that, and now it'll show you your spreads. So it looks just like a yearbook where you have a left and a right page. So right now we're on page 1 and 2, and this is page 3 and 4. They don't have any photos in there yet. This is an old one that has old photos, but I thought it would show you how we used it. Okay, so yeah, here's your spreads right here. If you click on a page, it will put that one in the center. At least it usually does. So let's go back to the first pages. And to delete pages, let's say you wanted to get rid of this spread here. A spread is 2 pages together. Just hold Control or Command and click on all the pages that you want to delete, and they should be all selected like that, and just drag them to your trash. And it'll ask you if you want to do that. Hit OK. Oh, my computer's about to die soon. So yeah, now if you go back to your Pages tab, those pages should be gone, and now you only have 4 pages in the document. Another common question that I get from you guys is, why are all the pictures blurry? And why is the text blurry? Well, that's because of the view mode that you're in. So if you go into View, and then it's actually the display performance. You want high quality display, and then it should make everything all nice and sharp for you. The last thing I wanted to talk about was using guides. So just like in Photoshop, you have guides. Your rulers should be showing, but if they're not, I think you can go up and go under Window, show your tools, and find rulers in there somewhere. There's hide rulers right there. So probably if I hide them, then I can go View, show them. There we go. So just like that, just like in Photoshop, you can click on your ruler and drag down and create a guide. So now you can see all my guides. I had them all hidden, which was so it didn't look like a mess. So I'm going to show you how to get rid of those. So if you're on the normal view mode, then you will actually see all the guides, all the guides that you put down, so everything's lined up and everything. Any templates I send you will probably have guides for all the edges on everything so that it stays nice and lined up and nice and pretty. So if you go to your preview mode, that's going to preview it just like you were going to print it. So it'll show like just what it's going to look like when you print it. Yeah. Okay, I think that's it, guys. Thanks, and I'll see you in the next tutorial.